I mean, yeah, duh, I'm stupid. It's right here. See, that's the thing about the pity counter. It's right there. I don't understand why Genshin and Star Rail has not implemented that. Hopefully they will. Especially with what was going on with Genshin, with the whole FTC thing. Like they have to make things more transparent, so they have to make things simple as possible, from what it sounds like. So at the very least, they should now put the pity counter. Like, come on, it's like really handy. Destiny, that is the $1 million question, literally, because yeah, like that's like the issue with these games, and plus modern parenting is that they just think throwing an iPad or an iPhone or whatever to their kid is good enough. But they have to do their due diligence to teach them like the value of things, right? The value, like, period. And what you're really doing, right? Like it's kind of wild, right? That they can get their credit card so easily, it seems like. That's what it sounds like. I don't know, but I mean, there's a lot of things going on, it seems like, of why they went after Genshin. But like, on one hand, sure, like gacha games in general are pretty toxic, but there is a responsible way to do it, just like drinking and just like other such activities, right? Responsibility and moderation is key, right? And most people, I want to say, are capable, but there are those fewer but more prevalent people that of course get highlighted out of the bunch, and they get put into like those news articles like, oh, this guy spent $10,000 to get the waifu and blah blah blah, that kind of thing, right? Those sort of stories. And I feel like this is very much targeted towards Genshin because of what has been going on with how the US views China. Because China has been like up and coming in terms of like the economy stuff. And even in the video game scope alone, they've been doing pretty damn good, right? Because if you look at games like Black Myth Wukong, if you look at all the other gacha shit that's been happening, let alone fucking Genshin, ZZZ, Star Rail, even Honkai Impact 3rd, right? And other things. They've been thriving in some sense, right? And of course, there is TikTok. And there is value there, you know? And you know, the government or whatever are just coming up with excuses like, oh, it's propaganda, whatever platform, all that nonsense, and they just wanted some sort of excuse to try to like slow down China as much as possible. That's pretty much how I see it. That's my guess as to why this is happening in the first place. And it's so funny because it only lasted one day. It lasted just one fucking day. I had a feeling, like I had some sort of feeling that it wasn't going to last too long. I don't know, just something was telling me that this wasn't going to last very long. But I was a little surprised, admittedly, that it only lasted this long. Like, I thought it was going to be like a week or something. And it wasn't even... it's funny because it wasn't even after Trump has become president once again. It was like before. It was like right before it happened. So that's interesting, I guess, to say the least. But in any case, I don't know. The Genshin thing is just, I find it very targeted and kind of hypocritical because they haven't even gone after, of course, the American stuff, the American gacha stuff, like EA's Madden stuff, the FIFA stuff, so on and so forth. So for them to just go after Genshin like that, I mean, I don't know. Like, if they were consistently going after all the loot box games, especially with Blizzard, then okay, that's I would bat an eye then, but it's just Genshin for right now. Now there was another reason, and that's basically like all privacy reasons. But with all the like stuff that's been happening with like TikTok and stuff like that, you know, going back to what I was thinking, like I think there is a little more to it, and I think it's just overall they are just kind of jelly of China. That's kind of like a simple way to put it, is just they're jelly. I don't know, like I wonder how other people feel about that, but that's just my 2 cents on it. Especially this happening like back to back relatively is just it feels like that. I can't help it. I can't help to think like that. There's a lot of gray areas to it. I mean, gacha, like I said, gacha itself is very toxic, and we have to do our due diligence to moderate ourselves and make sure we are spending within our capabilities. But of course, children don't know that. They are very naive. They just don't know, right? So it's the parents' job, their responsibility, absolutely, to teach those things to their children. And but unfortunately, like I said, like the modern parenting, a lot of it just falls short. They just toss their iPads and hope that they just shut up. That's literally what it is. Or just buy them whatever, right? They just buy them like the Nintendo Switches and whatever fuck consoles, or, you know, toys or anything, right? I guess you could say. But especially with those iPads, and give them Fortnite or whatever the popular shit is, and hope they just don't hear them whine or whatever, you know, when they have to be there to make sure they know stuff. That's why these things happen. It's the irresponsibility of the parents. It's not that they get, well, okay, it is a combination of things, to be fair, okay, but if it weren't, if it isn't for the vigilance of their parents, then it wouldn't happen, right? Because you know, they have to make sure they put a lock on those games, and also they have to tell them. They just have to just simply tell them. It's as simple as that. And maybe if they tell them at least, then it wouldn't be so frequent, at least, which is better than nothing. People of this time just love to point fingers to somewhere else. A lot of finger pointing is happening nowadays, especially recently with the fire in California. All the other shit with the government. And all the pardons, right? And you know, just stuff left and right. There's a lot of that going on, unfortunately, and then of course catches up. Blah blah blah. Here we are, right? Oh, it's toxic, or it's you know, these gacha games are tricking the children. Blah blah blah. Can I live without gacha? Absolutely. I mean, if there is another system to deliver these characters to us, absolutely. I'm all for it. But we are working with what we have, and you know, from time to time, yes, I do spend money on these games for those mechanics, right? But it is what it is. I feel like I've been pretty moderate on that. I only spend money on the characters I really want, and I only spend it when I only have the top-up bonus. It's ironic because Genshin is the game that helped me moderate my spending for gacha games. When games like Fate Grand Order, I was pretty like unhinged on that. It's just so funny. Maybe I should make a clip out of this or something, but maybe I'll present it in a different video. That's just my 2 cents on it overall. I think it's just silly that the FTC went after Genshin like this, when there are plenty of other games that practice this stuff even worse, far worse than Genshin for sure. And I guess the counter argument is that it's cosmetic, whereas these characters are actually part of the gameplay. But I would argue that at least you have a chance to eventually get these characters as long as you spend it wisely, you know? Because the pity is there. They have a pity count. It accumulates and carries over to each banner. Whereas games like Madden, what's that? What pity? You're on your own, kid. You know that. I mean, maybe there is a hidden pity account, but they have to make that clear then, right? If you're gonna, if this is about transparency, then they would have to make that transparent, wouldn't it? Right? But anyway, I can go on about it, but I'm gonna hold it off for perhaps an actual video.